So, hello everyone. Basically, welcome back to another video, and yes, you know what the video is, it's building the overhead cabinets. Basically, what happened is I did record building them, and then I lost it in the hard drive failure I had, which you can go check out the video up here, where I explain what happened. Basically, hard drive failed, and I lost everything. But anyway, then I re-recorded it, and explained how I built it, which is what I'm going to do now, and then I lost the SD card. So, what I'm doing now is I'm explaining it again. The batten I'm using is 18mm by 44mm, and most people use 34 by 34mm. It's great stuff because it's square. I used it in my mum's van, used it in my dad's van, my dad's used it in the boat. But this is 20 quid a packet compared to, like, I think it was £35 for the other, and you only get 9 of them and you get 10 of these. So basically, price. And it works fine, strong. I can hang off the other ones, the kitchen ones, which you probably will get to see a bit later on. But yeah, so very sturdy method, and basically what I've done is I've measured how long I want them to be, and I've cut 2 battens that length. As you can see, they go full length, and then how high I want it, and obviously you've got to make way for all of this battening as well. So basically these battens decide how big the actual entrance to the cupboard is. Cut 3 of them, or however many compartments you want it in. Maybe just want one big one. Wouldn't probably recommend that because then it might bow a little bit. So probably best to have at least 2 cabinets, depending on how big the cabinet is, of course. And then for the underside, which you can see under this cabinet, because I still haven't put the pallet wood under it, what I have done is, as you may have noticed on that one, you couldn't see the front of the pallet wood, and that is because the front frame that I designed, because it's like 20mm by 45mm basically, I created another one of these frames, pretty much the same, and then screwed it lengthways in from behind here. So here I can kind of show you a bit better. As you can see, this bit is not, this bit's a bit of pallet wood, again, just to save a bit of batten and weight and stuff. And it's screwed this way with about 4 screws into the front frame. So you can't see any screws on the front at all, but here, then you're left with a little gap. So when I put my pallet wood on, you can't see the edge of the pallet wood from the front, which just makes the edge really nice, because on my mum's van we had to add some trim along here, like some right angle trim to cover the edge. So I thought, while I was designing these, I might as well do that. And then you've got an inner base with all the electrics in, and then you've got an underside pallet wood, and eventually these will be mounted obviously to the pallet wood, but I just haven't got around to it. But that will be filmed in this video, and you will get to see the making of that, along with doors, as the other one doesn't have doors. But yeah, so by doing that, you can pretty much get a flush inside, and it pretty much makes the whole base of the cabinet the width of the actual batten. So when you look from there, it looks really nice, as you can see, and that's by basically making 2 frames. One is a fascia frame that goes on the front, and one there. And then the way I've attached it is very, very simple, and basically if I balance that on my head there, you can see a hole here and back here as well, annoyingly right near the hinges. Now this one, as you can see, is in line with this, and it goes straight into a batten right where the metal is on the rib on the ceiling. This one doesn't, but then again over here it goes into this one here and goes into another place that doesn't. So basically it's in 2 battens, same on the wall, because there's lines of nails, which is a bit harder to see, and it screws into the line of nails which is in the batten. And basically I can hang off this. I have done twice, and it just proves how strong it is, with only 8 screws holding it to the van. 8. Now that is how I built the frames and everything. You will get to see the doors when I build that one over there, and you will get to see the underside when I do the underside of this one. So stay tuned for that. So hello everyone, it's been quite a while since I've done anything on these overhead cabinets, but for now what I've done is I've cut a load of wood, this one specifically to go here and stuff, and I'm now going to build that round there and be putting the wood under here, and finally covering up these cables, which will be such a relief. You need to take down the stuff. Yeah, so just 15mm pallet, which as I said, sorry, getting a mess here. 15mm pallets, which as I said, I've created a lip, so when you put that behind there, you cannot see the front of it. So that will go up there like that, and then we'll have this over here, which is almost going to be like batten, and you'll see the side of that, and then that's going to go on top of that. So by the end, it will look like three pieces, well, it is, three pieces of pallet wood next to each other. Obviously not recessed like that, that's not meant to be like that. And the idea is then, you won't see any of the cables obviously. So this is what I'm doing basically, putting a screw in either side, and as you can see this side, it's nice and flush with the batten here, and this will probably all get stained in the same as the pallet wood does, which is the same as this door and the worktop I've been done in. And then obviously the lights will go on the top of that. What I'm planning to do is fit that in there, because they're crimped here, but these two lights are crimped together, so there's no way of like threading them through a single hole. So I think I'm going to try and get it between the split of the wood, and then maybe that can go there or on that piece of wood there. I'm not sure, I haven't decided exactly where the lights are, but basically that'll hang from there for now until I decide where it's going to go. And then same for that one. We'll see where a piece of pallet wood lines up. Here, as you can see, I put a piece of wood down here, a piece of wood across here, a piece of wood that's sanded up here so it's nice, and the odd screw I've screwed in through here, but also so it looks symmetrical, I put one in the centre there, because it just about goes into there, and then this side I'll do the same, put one in the centre there, and that way they'll just look even. But yeah, so the control panel is looking nice. This wall is so much more sturdy now it's screwed into the countertop, and if you haven't seen the countertop video, you go check it out up here. So yeah, let's get cracking putting these on. So here, as you can see everyone, what I done is I cut another bit of pallet wood in half, and this is a really simple way to make a door that overlays out pallet wood, or you can just do a bit of plywood or something, but this is an alternative like the shaker style doors that everyone does. So just like slatted, and it looks really nice once it's on there, and I stain them darker. So what I did is I cut this in half because it doesn't need to be that thick. It's just a piece of pallet wood, and you don't want to go in all the way to the edges because it's overlapping the frame. I mean, if it's going inside the frame then it doesn't really matter, but yeah, that's why I'm doing this. And then you want to make enough room for your hinges depending on what hinges you're using, and then the catch depending on what type of catch you're using too. So it all depends on what you use and how you're doing it, but basically I'm doing that. And in the previous doors I've put 2 screws in each, diagonally, and in the end one's just not diagonally because there's not enough room. But this time I'm really tight on screws, so I'm going to put 2 screws in each end one and then 1 in every other one, and that should stop the end ones from shuffling about, and therefore hold all the middle ones in place. So you just want to countersink, and then screw. And then what I do is I put one screw in here so you can still move it around a bit of flexibility, and then pull it in nice and tight, get the screw ready, what you should have done, and then simply screw it in, and now that's just kind of clamped it together. And I do the same with this one, and then I fill in the insides. So I've just done the door, apart from I ran out of screws, so I've still not done the other door. It's still in a load of bits. But basically, I've just cut 2 sheets out of the old ply from the van. As you can see, it's like kind of mucky. But I'm going to use these 2 sides because these are really nice sides. Well, this one's not so nice, but this one's very nice. But these are 6mm ply, so they're not going to weigh anything, and they're going to be the base of the overhead cabinet where the clothes sit, rather than them sitting on the pallet wood and you can see the frame. I managed to do the kitchen one, so I'll just probably plop that in for you because it's the same process rather than me waiting to film the other ones. But yeah, I need to go out and get some more screws. I've only bought 2 boxes of screws for this whole van build. So what I've done is I've drawn a line on top of this bit of wood. So once I've drawn that line, I line it up at the bottom. I work out where it wants to go as well, because you don't want the screw to go in the middle of a bit of pallet. I always do it second one in, so not the outside one, that one in, not this one, but this one in. And then we want to make sure that's lined up and draw a little line, and then you end up with a little box to chisel out. And then you get a chisel. I use a 13mm for most of it. If you need, I use a big 1-inch one and just shave it flat. But yeah, just do that in both those places, and that's really simple. You don't need to do it in the door, just in the frame. Make sure it's flush. I do it about maybe 6mm, 5 or 6mm, and then that's perfect, and it all works well. And then obviously you need to catch, because otherwise the door's just going to fall down. So I do inwards like this. Basically the reason you don't want to go on a knot is because the wood's really hard and it's really hard to chisel it out. I just give it a good wiggle. I don't bother with hammer because it's more likely to loosen the screws out your frame and weaken everything really, just with vibrations. More things can go wrong if you use a hammer, I find. I just like to give it a good wiggle, and it sets itself in, as long as you've got a nice sharp blade, which I do. Yeah, you can also do these with a router, but I don't have a router. Once you've got your line done like that, you just simply use a chisel the other way, so then you don't just dig in, and it scoops it round like a spade and scoops all the excess out basically. And because you've created the lines, it shouldn't go past the line, but you will have to deepen them because you often can't get it all the way 6mm in. Once you've got what looks right, give it a test. No, you don't need like another 2 maybe 3mm. And like I said, you will keep having to go deeper on the outer edges. Often this edge will just split because it's with the grain, well, depending on which way your grain is going, obviously. There you go, done one. This door should go on there, and the hinge should fit comfortably across, which it does, so that's all good. So for installing the catches, very simple as well. I put this bit on first here, because this bit's got adjustability, it can move a bit, and on the feet as well. It's got like long holes, and basically what you do is, it's easier if you can get your hand behind. That makes life so much easier. So if there's 2 cupboards next to each other, you can get your hand behind. So luckily I've got this gap, not that you can actually see up here, there's a gap in between underneath the oven, and I can stick my hand behind and hold it there while you do that. Otherwise, best way, you get to know the catches over time, and basically with installing this, I've found, I'm sure it's the same with everything, but if you're mounting it like the door's on top like I am, if you make it stick out maybe 2mm, so all you've got to then do is find the centre point where it should sit, and then work out where like that is in relation to that. So you've got to work out where it is left and right, and then back and forth I work out it's about 2mm it wants to stick out from the frame. And then if I hold that in place, I've only got 1 screw in at the moment, it should clip in nicely and pull out too. So yeah. Right, and once that's in, it slots in nicely. So I've just painted the drawers, and now I'm painting all of this stuff. So it's really, I mean not painting, sorry, varnishing. And I start with the top edge. Because it's the end grain, and then I finish with the face side. Bubble you the bubble man. Yes, I Signor Divino Divine. I just realised I never showed you the finished thing. I was filming building it and screwing them all in, but I never showed you it done. And I varnished it in the warm oak varnish I used. It's just Wix quick drying varnish, warm oak satin. And yeah, I use that for a lot of things. So also, if you're interested in what I finished the walls in, because they have got a finish on and they are protected, and if you want to know what that is, you can go check the video out in the card up here. Yes, up here. So I'm really proud of this. It looks really nice, dark, with the lights properly mounted now, and you can't see any cables, and there's that dividing wall that's all properly in now. And yeah, it looks really nice. Obviously I need to frame these windows and stuff. But overall, I've also varnished this little bit of batten where the dowels are going to go over here. So yeah. But I'm pretty proud of it. So, hello everyone. As you can see, right behind me are the cupboards. Now, I just edited up to this point yesterday on my laptop, and I'm using Final Cut now for a bit, just giving it a test. And I'm pretty proud of the edit so far. I'm liking it. So, if you are guys too, drop a comment down below. But now, back to the cupboards. So, in this part of the video, I'm going to be painting the cabinets. Now, I've just painted the bottom half of the kitchen, but that's the kitchen video, and that's the next video or so. So, what I'm painting it with is this paint here. This paint here, it's that name, and it's from B&Q, and it's the Good Home brand. Not sure how to pronounce that, but it's like a Cincinnati. Yeah, sorry. But that is what we're painting it in, and I'm simply using a brush. I've got a 1/2 inch brush and a 1 inch brush. I did think I'd use the 1 inch brush more, but it turns out it's so small and fiddly that I've just been using the 1/2 inch really. And you can get like the bottom half of the frame. I'm doing the inside of the frame, then that bit. And the reason I've taken the doors off is because you can't get around the hinges. So yeah, I need to get all of that, and all shall be good. Don't put it in your tea. Tip. Well, let's stick the paintbrush in my tea. So, hello everyone. I've done the painting. I've done one coat, I'll do another one, and then I'll show you tomorrow. I won't film the second coat because it's the same as the first coat. I've had a paintbrush day. I haven't put down the bloody paintbrush because now I'm varnishing this, which I forgot. This is an LED strip, if I demonstrate, and it's colour changing, and not only that, you can pick solid colours, and it's also got the white in there. So, pretty cool strip. The lighting video, if it is made, which I think it might be, then you can go check it out in the card. If not, then why not subscribe, because then you won't miss them, and click the notification bell. But what I did was just basically a circular saw set to a depth, and then ran it so like you do with a table saw, and I clamped them all together, circular saw, over and over again, until it was wide enough to fit the LED strip. Boy, do I wish I'd varnished it before I put the LED strip on and then painted it, because now I'm like having to cut in everywhere. Right, I'll get back to you once finished. Right, so that is it. The overhead cabinets are done, apart from this little bit here. You don't need to see that. Yep, I still haven't done the second coat, but second coat, it's going to look the same as the first, maybe just a little bit more even and maybe a little bit darker. But overall, it's going to look the same as that, which I am so impressed. The dark wood and this blue just goes so well. And like I said, if you want to know, it's that like cynic, I'll put a picture of it up. It's from B&Q and it's the Good Home brand. I've put all the handles and catches on this. But yeah, I'm really impressed. I think this took me ages. I said I'd come back to you and I haven't. Oh, and guys, also that bit of ply that I mentioned a while back, when I was doing the doors, I forgot to mention that I was drilling holes in it, and I actually forgot, so I had to take it back out and I drilled some holes in it, basically for ventilation, because there's that strip of batten in the middle, so there's an air gap in between the ply and the pallet wood here. So what I've done is very simply grabbed a hole saw, and as you can see, sorry, kind of in there, that I've drilled 4 holes in each of those 2 pieces, and then you need an end bit on the end there and an end bit on this end. But overall, I think the cabinets look great. Obviously I'll paint that when I paint tomorrow. But yeah, so I am chuffed with the result of these. I am so happy. So if you have enjoyed the build video of these cabinets, yes, I know it was a bit of a mishmash at the beginning because I lost my SD card and lost my hard drive and it broke and all. But basically, we're here now. I'm really proud. They work really well. Lights in the cupboard, which will be after the kitchen video, and the kitchen video is coming next, I believe. So if you did like the video, be sure to drop a comment down below and hit that like button, because it really helps my channel out and me, and it gets the videos up there. And if you're not subscribed, which most of you aren't, why not? Because then you'll get to see the rest of this build video, including the kitchen, which is a big part of the van. And while you're down there, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you next week.